Hey, show the cover of that one more time. You know what I don't see on there? Oh, I guess Tony's still stuck at the line. Oh!
You know what, Kenny? You can say that.
So when that thing's upside down and you're trying to get out onto the pavement and you got to get bent in and around the seat, I mean, it's not easy to get out of a stock car upside down. So I went to go get out, and I couldn't get my helmet out the way that it was. So then I took my helmet off, and I started trying to push it out, and the corner worker is pushing my helmet back in. And I got hot oil on me and everything. He goes, no, they told me you can't get out. And he's pushing the helmet back in, and I'm like, dude, listen, I'm about to kill this guy.
I wore these freaking short-ass pants, man. They're like...
They're called shorts.
They're really short, though. They're my Easter pants.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from the Lucas Oil Studios and riding on the dope Seppa General Tires, Speed Freaks, Kenny Sargent, Crash Gladys, Richie, Cole, and Cody, Big Johnson. This isn't a show, it's a takeover, no rules, no limits, just speed, smoke, and straight talk. Strap in, Freak Nation! This is Speed Freaks!
We already won. Look at all that black rock. Where's the smoke at? Yeah.
Attaboy.
That was good.
Attaboy.
Had to do something.
Yeah, you got us there.
Your lovely spouse had us cook that up.
Oh, I'm sure she did. As evidenced by a couple of things that go down when I say, do not listen to her.
Oh, come on.
Dude, that statement, I'd be so nervous. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. She's just do it.
He's
all right.
texting me going, I don't know. I'm like, do it. It's okay.
Yeah, it depends what kind of mood I'm in. I'm all right with that.
You never get punked. You never get punked.
Well, was I punked?
You believed that? You started talking, hey, Freak Nation.
Well, because typically at the top of the show, I usually do that, Crash. All I heard was crickets, and I see a blank freaking screen. What's going on, Freak Nation? It is April Fool week and Easter. And we got no big boy Cup Series racing. We got no big boy NHRA racing. We got no big boy and girl IndyCar racing. What, Crash?
We could stop and do it over if you want.
That's okay. I'll be happy to do some edits. We are live on YouTube across the Freak Radio Network, FS2. That's how we roll, Freak Nation. Cole, you just got to understand, man, whatever's thrown at you, no matter how many sets of clothes you're wearing, you just roll.
Always adapt.
I was wondering why you're sitting over there like pretty freaking uncomfortable.
I wore these freaking short-ass pants, man. They're like...
They're called shorts.
They're really short, though. They're my Easter pants from the Easter show. So
Easter.
yeah, they're like a purple. So draw some attention
Gotta show
to it
up
here.
those quads, Cole. Come on.
I did hit the gym this
the
week.
ladies
so
are watching. The
I know,
ladies are watching us on FS2. So you gotta, you know.
I don't want Sydney to get jealous. So.
Oh, valid, Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
What almost 30-year-old says, I got my Easter shorts?
And a dress for the occasion, man.
Yeah.
Who else is doing an Easter show right now for motorsports besides us?
Yeah, no one.
Come on.
No one. I mean, it is arguably why I have a pink shirt
Look at
on.
that. Yeah.
Repping Amici Pizza, so yeah.
Perfect. The Amici pink. Shirley Temple, baby.
Yes, let's go.
So happy Easter week and weekend, Freak Nation. Crash Gladys, Kenny Sargent, Richard C., Cole Cusimano, and let me see the big face of Big Cody Johnson. There he is. What's the album behind your head this week there, Cody?
I'm not a fan of even putting on the spot here, but it looks like it's Rat.
Okay. Can you give me 3 songs from that album?
Nope.
All right, and we will proceed. But
All right.
I can promise you that Cletus
that's not-
McFarland is on that record somewhere. I imagine he was co-producer at the time, even though he probably wasn't alive.
Yeah, I'm sure he was.
Okay.
You know, just like everything.
Cletus is everywhere. Yeah. So, I mean, is it a street? Cletus is there.
Yep.
Is it a city? Cletus is there.
Dude's on our show intro, so Cletus
is there.
Cletus is, as the kids used to say, Richie, bout it. That's from 1996, my friend. Suck on that there, buddy.
Birth year.
Freak Nation, since there's not a whole lot of motorsports this weekend, we figured we're going to dive into some topics that you're going to go, what the? Oh, that makes a little bit of sense. Formula One, Easter, Leah Pruett, author Leah Pruett.
Not just driver.
Nitro and Naptime with Leah Pruett. And there was evidently, Crasher, we got to the bottom of this. This is for real. There was a Formula One chocolate heist that went down, right?
I still don't know if it's real.
Okay.
I have read numerous times that this is not an April Fool's prank. And here we are Easter Sunday, and I still don't know if it's real. I still believe we're going to get punked or something is going to come out this week saying, at least the bunny delivered all your Kit Kats and this blah, 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 blah punked you or whatever. I don't know.
So coming up this hour, tail end of this hour, we're going to break this down for you. Yeah, that's where we're going with the show, Freak Nation. It is, the stories are just coming out left field for our good friend Colt Cusimano, who, how are your Mets doing, by the way?
They're in another extra inning game right now. 1-1.
Attaboy.
They can't hit, so.
All right. Well, I know that some folks on this set might be having a little bit of some flashbacks or maybe some hives. What do you have when you need a drink and you're not supposed to drink? What do you have? Dry heaves? What do you do?
Cold sweats?
Cold sweats. Richie, you've been the residential alcoholic. What do you have, buddy?
Withdrawal?
Yeah, is withdrawals?
Yeah.
Shakes?
Night sweats? Well, because
night sweats is menopause, Kenny. Don't worry about that.
Got it. Because I bring this up because no Cup this weekend, no NHRA this weekend, no IndyCar. Granted, you had the Truck Series and what else?
O'Reilly
Auto Parts Series. But, Richie, and no Formula One. And no Formula One until Miami.
Oh, that's hard.
It's crickets out there in the Formula One world until the Miami Grand Prix first weekend of May. Okay. So I don't know what I'm going to do with myself on Sundays now.
And the two races that have they been canceled or just
done?
They're not going to try and put them on the schedule tail end of
Nope.
No matter what. Okay. Because of a war that's going on over in the Middle East, Freak Nation, 2 Formula One races have been canceled. So
Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Richie's the residential alcoholic or Formula One fan, I should say. So that's why I bring up dry heaves, night sweats, having flashbacks of good old days of when there was a week off and you had Formula One, which brings me to the conversation that we talked a little bit about Sunday night about Max Verstappen, hinting, at least dropping it out there, that the dude may retire from Formula One.
That's correct. Yeah. If you remember correctly, Max Verstappen was asked about the current regulations in the Formula One set. And I'm going to quote him here. He was asked by BBC Radio if he might walk away from F1 at the end of the year. And Verstappen responded, "That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking about everything inside this paddock. Privately, I'm very happy. You also wait for 24 races, and then you just think about, is it worth it? Or do I enjoy being at home with my family, seeing my friends more when you're not enjoying the sport?" He went on to say, "Every day I wake up, I convince myself again to keep racing, and I try." This comes on the heels of his very outspoken dislike of, again, the current way these Formula One engines and power units are designed. He doesn't like the way they harvest energy, et cetera, and he, doesn't really like the way they race. So, yeah, Max Verstappen might be donezo after 2026. It has been reported since that there is a clause in his contract that he can leave his contract with Red Bull based on certain performance incentives. So, so if I don't remember the exact details, and it's not 100% been confirmed. But if the car finishes outside a certain number in the constructor standings, or if he is outside of a certain standing in the driver standings, he can opt out of his contract. And right now, the way it's going, he's outside the top 6 in driver standings right now.
So he could sandbag his way out of a contract.
I was just going to say that. Yep.
Backmark his way out of a sand out of a sand trap. Out of a contract. So
if he's super pissed by, let's say, come midsummer, I know Formula One, FIA, they're going to be talking over in this month off of April. They're going to be talking over how to potentially make some changes to bring back some more authentic racing, whatever they need to do. To be continued.
He is ninth in the driver's standings right now.
That's big.
Four-time Formula One champion. Missed out on his 5th championship by just 2 points to Lando Norris last year. And he is ninth. Pierre Gasly, Oliver Behrman, and an Alpine and a Haas are beating Max Verstappen.
Oliver Behrman.
let that resonate for a little bit. Who's beating Max Verstappen?
Pierre Gasly and an Alpine.
Yep.
And the Alpine was literally one of the worst cars on the grid the last 2 years.
Yep.
And Oliver Behrman in a Haas, who is the smallest. Haas is the smallest team on the F1 grid in terms of number of employees. Beating a 4-time world champion.
If he's really pissed mid-season, he will backmarker himself. I believe you. I totally believe that. You don't think so? Cool.
No. He's not going anywhere. This is a classic Max Verstappen cry. He is the biggest crybaby in motorsports. Oh, I'm not running up front. I'm not winning every single week. I'm not the reigning champion. Give me a freaking break. I would love to see Max Verstappen in NASCAR or IndyCar, because I told this to Richie and Cody over text. If there's 3 GOATs in motorsports right now, Kyle Larson, Alex Palou, Max Verstappen is third of 3. He would not hold freaking Alex Palou or Kyle Larson's jock straps, and I stand by that statement. So go ahead, retire from F1 and go to a different motorsport discipline. I want you to do it, Max.
Come give us a try, or are you too scared? Because most, at least over the last couple of decades, most Formula One drivers are too scared to tackle an oval.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's a short oval, doesn't matter if it's a super speedway. They are just scared of ovals. Mm-hmm. So yeah, come on, Maxie boy. Come on over to the U.S.
I smell a topic for the next segment, Freak Nation. Max Verstappen to NASCAR to IndyCar. Where would he have the most impact, the biggest impact? When Kyle Larson came over to IndyCar, that was bananas the first time, and it was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. We were smack dab in the middle of all that madness. That was so much fun to be a part of. But it sounds kind of sexy. Max Verstappen coming to NASCAR. Coming to IndyCar. What do you think, Freak Nation? Of course, hit us up on YouTube. Be sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter, as the kids are calling it nowadays, X, Facebook, and, of course, Instagram. More freaks and Max Verstappen to NASCAR or IndyCar. Where would he have the most impact? That's next. Speed Freaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
In life, you get out what you put in. Time, effort, dedication. On the track, in the garage, in your vehicle. When you choose Lucas Oil, your vehicle delivers. Mile after mile. Generation after generation. Lessons learned, passion earned. Lucas Oil, it works.
Freak Nation, get this. General Tire has launched a comprehensive Shield Plus Advantage plan for passenger and light truck tires. What that means for you is when you purchase General Tires, the Shield Plus Advantage plan lets you enjoy a complete package of multiple warranties and coverage to get the most from your tires. The plan applies to all General Tire passenger and light truck tires purchased as replacements in the U.S. and Canada with DOT serial numbers. For more information, hit them up on GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for 2 decades.
Some people, they follow the rules. Here at the Freak Nation, we don't. Go to our YouTube channel at Official Speed Freaks and hit the store link, and you'll be able to own a part of the Freak Nation, from adult to kids tees, freaking hoodies, beanies to styling lids, kicks, and coffee mugs. All carrying Speed Freaks attitude that's been rattling cages for 25 years. This ain't fashion. It's a big old fat middle finger to boring. Hello. You want to blend in? Keep walking. Hit up Speed Freaks YouTube page and bang the store link so you too can own a part of the Freak Nation.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, this segment brought to you by our good friends at Lucas Oil. Go to lucasoil.com this Easter. Well, I'm surprised that a few of you folks do not have Lucas Oil fuel treatment in your big old Easter basket. You still have plenty of time to do it, man. Lucasoil.com, plenty of products to keep your rides on the road. 2-wheel, 4-wheel, they got it for you.
Lawn mower?
At lucasoil.com. I'm going, just for the record, I need a wide shot here, Cody. when you guys ask generally, is it cool if I do this? Make sure that you just don't rely on the girl to my right. Okay?
What is going on?
Hey, what if I call Max this? Oh, sure, go right ahead, man.
It's a funny nickname.
I know it is. And I'm not saying you can't say it.
I'm not going to say it.
No, you can say it. All I'm saying is I just want to set the record straight that for 25 years of doing Speed Freaks, she was the last person that we would go to for parental advice.
That's finding a nickname is not a parental advice sort of thing. That's just like a friendly, hey, yeah, thumbs up, thumbs down. That's a thumbs up.
Crasher at one time had a direct line to the FCC. She did. Absolutely.
So I like breaking rules a bit.
Yeah, we all like breaking rules, Crasher, but we also like waking up knowing we have a job and that we know where the next freaking lunch is coming from.
So it's not total inside baseball. We were coming up in the break with a nickname for Max Verstappen, the whiner that he is, and we had one that could have potentially been a sponsor for the show. So that's why I told Cole, absolutely. And then all of a sudden Kenny's ixnaying it. If you want to know, email us, pitcrew@speedfreaks.tv, and I will let you know what that nickname was.
Cole, bottom line, is not a big fan of Max Verstappen. I'm not either. The moment F1, and I know it wasn't Max Verstappen per se, but the moment Formula One stole that championship from Lewis Hamilton, again, I went back into my cave with Formula One.
Said, bye, done watching.
But my point about this whole conversation is we're going to talk. We're not going to bore you to tears about specifically Formula One, but Max Verstappen is teasing that he may retire from Formula One. Arguably one of the greatest Formula One drivers ever. I said one of the. Okay. One of the.
And apparently every day this year, according to his recent statement, he has to wake up and convince himself to keep racing. And you know what? He's been successful so far. Who are you?
Right.
So,
Richie, do we know if he's married, and if he's married, if he has any children?
Yes.
He is not married, but he's his partner. He's been with for many years at this point. PK. Of all people, and they have a new daughter who's less than a year old now.
Got it, because he made reference of I want to spend time with my family, so I want to make sure that that's the family he wants to spend time with. So with him teasing that he might retire from Formula One, I thought about Max Verstappen. Where would he have a bigger impact, in NASCAR or at IndyCar? And I stumped about everybody on this set because they couldn't come up with a quick answer. Because it's the difference between Formula One and NASCAR is gaping, right?
It's a gaping hole.
Gaping hole.
They're light years apart.
But for those that follow IndyCar, but maybe not as deep as we do, some might not be able to tell the difference between an IndyCar and a Formula One car. So
many people can't, right?
But so it makes a little bit more sense that it'd be easier for him to go to. My question is, if Max Verstappen does decide to punt and come to the greatest country on the planet, America, and run in the IndyCar Series or the NASCAR Cup Series, where would he have the biggest impact? And why would he have the big impact? Crasher.
I'm going to say IndyCar just because what we saw with Fernando Alonso was so huge. What we saw, we talked about this in the pre-show, with Nigel Mansell in the early 90s was ginormous. I feel like those fan bases have an easier way of connecting, and maybe it is because the cars look similar and they're both open wheel. But I feel like it would be IndyCar that he would have a greater impact. NASCAR, I just don't know. It would not fall flat. We've seen some F1 drivers take a stab at NASCAR, but it's just kind of more meh than what he could potentially do to raise awareness in IndyCar. Just my take.
Jacques Villeneuve tried it.
Wait, what are you talking? Oh, you're talking about NASCAR.
NASCAR, right?
Yeah, Formula One. Guys that have been in Formula One and then went to NASCAR.
Jensen Button ran a couple races. Kimi Räikkönen ran a couple races as well. In recent memory, of course, Juan Pablo Montoya might be the most famous because he actually won several NASCAR Cup races and won in Formula One as well, and won the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah.
That you didn't know.
Let's just keep ticking off those boxes.
The more you think about that, it's like, damn, why don't we talk about Juan Pablo Montoya more as being one hell of a driver?
And he seriously, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, he was dominant in IndyCar or kart at the time with Ganassi.
He was in IndyCar kart on both ends of it.
Yeah.
After the split in the late 90s on the kart side of things, and then went to Formula One and then NASCAR, and then came back on the merged, newly found that we have these days IndyCar side. Yeah, he's and he was good at both.
Cole, NASCAR or IndyCar if Max decides to come on over to the great lower 48?
I think in terms of making an on-track impact, it's IndyCar for sure.
Right.
Because if he were to go to NASCAR, I think he'd be doing it for the exposure aspect of things. We always talk about it. NASCAR is the giant elephant in the room. You know, they're the biggest motorsport in America. So that there'd be that impact he'd have in NASCAR. But I don't even think he'd beat SVG anywhere they go. So, yeah.
You don't think he would?
I don't think he would. He would not come close, actually. So I'm going to say on-track IndyCar, exposure-wise NASCAR.
Huh.
Richie?
I would say IndyCar because racing the biggest race in the world is a massive, massive deal. And I think that's why that would be so important in the amount. Now, will it get you more eyeballs? I don't know. Because you're already at 8 million people. It's going to be really hard to get more eyeballs in the Indy 500 than you already have, or being the biggest race in the world. But if you were to go to NASCAR, I think you'd have more people tuning into turning into a Sonoma or Watkins Glen for Max racing there. So for me, I'm actually leaning NASCAR, believe it or not. Because
You're talking your way into it?
Yeah. Now, the more that I think, I've thought about it because I really do believe that, that NASCAR is NASCAR folks maybe not be as into Formula One as I am or anybody else. But yeah, I think the amount of eyeballs that are going to tune in to watch Max in a stock car would be more than to tune in to watch Max in the Indy 500.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Or any IndyCar race.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Kenny?
You're kind of talking me on the other side, too. And again, when you bring up those specific courses, yeah, an SVG didn't run open wheel in Australia or New Zealand.
Supercars.
It was supercars, which was more like the stock car.
Mm-hmm.
And IndyCar has more room to grow as far as fan base versus NASCAR. But what a Formula One champion would do coming to the most popular series in America, it would bring so many new eyeballs to a series that many people across the planet are not familiar with.
It would turn it into a worldwide story.
What they've been, yeah. And, hell, see there, when you talk, Rich, you erase my freaking short-ass memory. Oh, I feel that more IndyCar drivers, no, hold on a second. Let me make sure I say this properly. I believe that more IndyCar drivers follow NASCAR than more IndyCar fans follow NASCAR than more NASCAR fans follow IndyCar per capita, if you want to say that. Do you guys believe that?
I would believe that, yes.
Right? More people come over to NASCAR to watch with it from IndyCar than NASCAR.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers prove that out.
Okay.
The ratings are just
so
that.
I just talked myself out of, I just argued, I had an internal argument, and I think it would be NASCAR.
You had Angel Devil,
Yeah.
IndyCar, NASCAR.
Yeah, I think NASCAR, with him
NASCAR
coming to
would benefit more, is what you're saying.
Yeah, NASCAR would benefit more with the heading of being an international series at the time, or at least have an international series feel, vibe to it.
Again, because the big difference, you mentioned all those Formula One guys that have come over to NASCAR. They were long since retired from Formula One. So Kimi Räikkönen was only a couple years retired by the time he came over, former world champion. But it's not Max Verstappen at the height of his career. He's not even 30. I think he's going to turn 30 this year. And if he were to come over in his early 30s at the height of his career, that's such a big difference between some of these other guys that have come over and ran.
Jensen Button on his way out.
Yeah.
And like you said, Kimi Räikkönen on his way out as well. Yeah, big difference.
And Crasher, about 35 seconds, what Kyle Larson did for IndyCar of bringing those NASCAR eyeballs over to IndyCar could be somewhat similar to what Max Verstappen could do for NASCAR from an entire motorsports perspective.
Without question. The only thing is you wouldn't have pissed off executives like there were in NASCAR that he's doing that. You wouldn't have pissed off executives in Formula One. They'd just be like, right, go.
And they wouldn't create the Kyle Larson rule the next year, right?
Exactly.
All right, Freak Nation, I'm not sure if we solved any world events there for you, but other than I just changed my mind in a matter of about 30 seconds. Coming up next, Leah Pruett. Yes, that Leah Pruett. Goes from nitro to Naptime. What am I talking about? We're going to celebrate her and women in motorsports and a couple of names specific. Lee, Jade and Dystany. Is that right? Join us next. Speed Freaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, head to your local General Tire dealership now to check out the latest additions to their product lineup. The Grabber family of tires are engineered for durability and feature innovative performance features that offer all-terrain capability, blending exceptional off-road durability and impressive on-road performance, all while sporting aggressive style. For outstanding off-road performance coupled with strong street manners, look no further than General Tire. General Tire delivers for whatever you do, and the official tire of Speed Freaks since 2001.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas fuel treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system. Pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
The 2026 season of Speed at Worldwide Technology Raceway are on sale now. The Bomarito Automotive Group 500 and Celebration of 66 Festival, June 6th and 7th. The NASCAR Cup Series Enjoy Illinois 300, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Confluence Music Festival, September 11th through 13th. And the NHRA Napa Auto Parts Midwest Nationals, October 2nd through 4th. Save big by going to WWTRaceway.com.
Some people, they follow the rules. Here at the Freak Nation, we don't. Go to our YouTube channel at Official Speed Freaks and hit the store link, and you'll be able to own a part of the Freak Nation, from adult to kids tees, freaking hoodies, beanies to styling lids, kicks, and coffee mugs. All carrying Speed Freaks attitude that's been rattling cages for 25 years. This ain't fashion. It's a big old fat middle finger to boring. Hello. If you want to blend in, keep walking. Hit up Speed Freaks YouTube page and bang the store link so you too can own a part of the Freak Nation.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, GeneralTire.com is a great website to check out to find out how you can get up to $80 back when you buy 4 qualifying tires from General Tire. Now to the end of April, you can get up to $80 back from General Tire. Check them out, GeneralTire.com. Mother's Day is coming up, Freak Nation. But more importantly, we're going to celebrate 3 women specifically in this segment. Leah Pruett, Dystany Spurlock, and Jade Abedizian. Right?
Good.
And we're going to kick it off with Leah Pruett, Top Fuel driver, runs with her husband, or runs for her husband's team, and she's part owner, of course, with Tony Stewart Nitro, with Matt Hagan, the Funny Car. She's Top Fuel. But she did something a little different this time. She put together a children's book. And when she sat in these studios, that's one of the items that we talked to her about how this whole thing came about. It's Leah Pruett talking about writing that baby Naptime book here with the Freaks. So Freak Nation, Leah Pruett, of course, mother Leah Pruett, wife Leah Pruett, Top Fuel driver, winning driver Leah Pruett, and now author Leah Pruett. How did this come about?
When Dom was about 3 months old, I had the opportunity with the company to author a book. And so I thought, well, I think the ABCs would be best. Yeah. And out of all genres that I could think of and, going down what road, I was like, I think winning attitudes, I think that's important, right? An attitude from when you're 2 and 3 and 5 or 50 years old is important. So basically, ABCs, A's for acceleration. It's motorsports centric, mostly drag racing. The other ones are coming later.
Oh, teaser right there.
B for burnout and whatnot. But what's also really cool is that it has a QR code in it on about every other page. And so the parental figure, right? You take the phone, scan it. I do the read along with the parent or the child, and hopefully the child's in there, not just the parent. But then also pops up games, educational games that change quarterly throughout the year. Whoa! So the book doesn't ever really get old. It grows with the child. And so, yeah, winning attitudes with Leah. And I think it's cool. It's got our Top Fuel Dragster, Dodge. You know, that's exactly me right there.
3 months old is when you started doing this.
I did, yes.
Wow.
And so it, you know, took some planning and working with a company that's done it in other major forms of sports.
Okay.
So they knew what they were doing and helped guide me along the way. But I chose the words, and I love the fact that they helped me help it rhyme, to define, and what the jingles, so to speak, would be. And what inspired me for it really was Dom loves reading, loves being read to, loves books, like more than any toys or anything. And so I was like, wow, are all kids like this? I don't know.
Nope.
No? Okay. Nope. So I was like, well, what's something that I want to leave with him and instill with other people? And so, yeah, it can be found on tsrnitrobooks.com. Yep.
Nice.
You could pre-order
You
now?
can pre-order now. They should be available April. My whole goal was to get in time for Christmas last year, and production and all that, whatever, didn't happen. Got flow, right?
Yeah,
Got flow with it.
there we go. Yep. Back to the flexibility.
Did the folks who helped put this book together, did they look at the things that you want to talk about and say, Leah, that's just not going to work? Or was this mostly what you wanted to say in the book?
I had two different streams of thought of how I wanted a book. One was an ABC book and one was another, and that's one that I hope comes down the road a little bit, probably for a little bit older of a child. I'll just give a hint. Has other forms of motorsports in it and some decision making that a child gets to do. But they were like, okay, well, I think a simpler version would be ABC's introduction to who I am, for children. And, really, I thought that I was like marketing to the kids, No, it is the parents that are making the purchasing decisions and what thought processes you want them to have and what their environment's like and all of that. So I was like, oh, okay, well, yes, they need to learn about clutches and they need to.
Sure.
C is for clutch.
Yeah.
Can you just put Bluey in there somewhere and you'll sell 5 million of them?
I think there's some like licensing
a little bit
issues with that, I guess.
Well, you'd have a 12-year-old already buying that damn book, man.
No, she's got more books to come. She has already teased it. This book, by the way, will grow with the kid.
Yes.
So, and then other books to come as they get older.
Hey, show the cover of that one more time. You know what I don't see on there? Oh, I guess Tony's still stuck at the line. Oh.
You know what, Kenny? You can say that because drag racing is a very humbling sport.
Yes.
So you will not hear those words come out of my mouth. But, thoughts are a different thing.
Wow.
And a whoosh, it rockets with a boom.
All right, so clearly NASCAR will be next, I would imagine. Or maybe dirt track, dirt cars, and then IndyCar. So we have more books coming from Leah. As the kids grow, they get more books and more forms of motorsports. I'm going to say NASCAR is next, and then it's a toss-up between dirt cars and IndyCar. But good job, Leah. Bringing the kids into motorsports. That's what we like.
Boom. And there is about 60 minutes of that interview with Leah that will drop.
60.
I believe, where are we? Either this Easter weekend or the next weekend on Black Flag Confessions and Official Speed Freaks on YouTube. A couple of other ladies we want to salute. One, Richard C. Suave, is a young African-American woman who did something for the very first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, congratulations to Dystany Spurlock. She became the first black woman ever to compete in ARCA or any NASCAR-affiliated series last weekend, and she finished 7th in her ARCA Series debut. Great story here. She came out of the motorcycle drag racing world, and now she's moving into the stock car world. Let me give you some of her accomplishments before we're going to hear from Dystany here in just a moment. She has experience as a motorcycle drag racer. She set a world record in 2024 in the real street class of the XTA Motorcycle Drag Racing Series. She placed as high as 2nd in points in the Manufacturers Cup Racing Series and made her NHRA Pro Stock Motorcycle Class debut in 2025. So she is awesome, and I had no idea who she was until this past weekend in her ARCA Series debut, and now we know who she is. She's got a great personality. She caught up with the folks at Front Stretch, I believe, after her first ARCA Series race.
Dystany Spurlock comes home in 7th place in her first ARCA race here at Hickory. Take me through your night. I'm sure you look really happy, so I'm sure you had a lot of fun out there tonight.
Yes, I had a lot of fun. My ultimate goal was to finish the race. And then I said, okay, after that, the goal will be to finish top 10. Well, we finished in 7th, so I think that is great for my first start in the ARCA Series. So I'm excited. I'm learning still, but I'm having fun most importantly.
What did you learn about the car or yourself or this racetrack here tonight?
What did I learn about the car? The car was fast. Super fast to the point where even if I made a mistake, I could pick it up because I was fast coming out of each turn. So it was great.
Well, what about the lap traffic? Because I know that's something new for you.
Let's talk about this lap traffic. They actually did pretty well, okay? So when I came up on them, they stayed low, so I can just go past them up, go at the high side. So it was pretty good. Yeah, they ain't getting my way too bad.
So overall, great night for you then.
Overall, great night. I just want to say thank you so much to my sponsors, Fox Teca. Thank you so much to Carlo at MBM. And all my family, friends, and supporters, thank you so much.
And where can people watch you race next?
I'll be at Rockingham next week, so go to my website at DystaNySpurlock.com or FoxTeca.com and find the schedule and come out.
That's a personality I can get behind.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Props to Dystany.
Yes.
And her accomplishments. And Cody, putting you on the spot, set this up for Jade Avedisian, driving over another freaking driver for the race win.
Well, truth be told, I only seen this through the highlights, but as you kind of just set it up, she drove over another driver and then wheels her way to a victory.
Caution to the win, up to second for Jade. Smith trying to answer back to the inside. Jade Rittman to the top. Aiden Purdue, you have company in Jade Avedisian.
Clearing the top lane now. Purdue going to go up top to block the lane of the Avedisian as we got 3 cars battling for position at the back of the field. That's Paul. Oh, contact! She saves it. Slide job at 3 and 4. New leader Jade Avedisian.
Ow, in the
It's crazy, man.
And she goes on to win it. And that was the Keith Coons. What did you say it was?
Keith Coons something give back.
It's like give back, yeah.
Got it.
Something like that.
Props to her. On her way, man. Jade Avedisian, which, by the way, we've had in the Freak Nation. It was over 2 years ago. Check out Official Speed Freaks and our YouTube page. And check under our playlist Sprint Cars or Dirt Car. I believe she's right under there. All right, speaking of dirt, what about some chocolate for you, Freak Nation?
That's some
it's
dirt.
Easter weekend, man, right? We got the dirt on Kit Kats and Formula One and a 10-pound freaking bunny.
What?
And General Tire releasing some candy. It's all coming up next. Speed Freaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Some people, they follow the rules. Here at the Freak Nation, we don't. Go to our YouTube channel at Official Speed Freaks and hit the store link, and you'll be able to own a part of the Freak Nation, from adult to kids tees, freaking hoodies, beanies to styling lids, kicks, and coffee mugs. All carrying Speed Freaks attitude that's been rattling cages for 25 years. This ain't fashion. It's a big old fat middle finger to boring. Hello. You want to blend in? Keep walking. Hit up Speed Freaks YouTube page and bang the store link so you too can own a part of the Freak Nation.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas fuel treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system. Pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
You're back with the Freaks. Be sure to check out lucasoil.com, Freak Nation, for a line of products to keep all of your rides on the road. Also check out Official Speed Freaks on YouTube to get your Speed Freaks swag at Freak Nation. We call it freakwear, man. If you want to wear those snappy shirts or this good-looking hat, you pick it up at Official Speed Freaks on YouTube, Freak Nation. Hey, man, it is Easter weekend, so we figure, why not, man? Let's dive into a whole freaking segment of candy. But before we get into candy, I got to say, man, I don't know what the hell is going on at the Cusimano household, because every freaking holiday rolls around, Cole says, yep, my mom's on it. She's got a cabinet full of Peeps. She's got Cadbury eggs sprinkled out through every corner of the house. Oh, Halloween. She's got 16 piles of this and that. And same for Christmas. So if we went over to your house right now, Easter weekend, what are the candies that we would see at your mom and dad's?
We've got the Cadbury milk chocolate eggs, tons of Peeps. There's the sweet tart Easter candies. There's cheese. They got those like wax bottles too with the liquid in them
for Easter.
They got the Easter M&Ms. They have literally everything. The Whoppers, the egg Whoppers or Hoopers, whatever the hell they're called.
Whoppers.
Those are robin eggs.
The robin eggs. Thank you. The gum. My mom's only food group is candy. She's like Buddy the Elf in that sense. She lives off candy. I'm not even joking. Yeah.
Mama Cusimano, I hope your dentist likes you.
She's so thin. How does she stay fit?
No one knows.
Chasing you little bastards around?
I guess so.
I mean, all your family's so dang fit, but you hear about all this candy, man.
She lives off it. I'm not even joking. Like she brings handfuls to work every day, and that's her breakfast and her lunch. Seriously.
Chocolate. No, she's more than chocolate. She's everything.
Everything. But she's a huge Peeps lady. She loves her Peeps.
Any specific flavor?
Just the regular ones. But what she'll do is, this is a hack for all you guys out there, she will put them on like a wooden stick and roast it like a marshmallow over the stove, and it gets like a caramelization effect on it. So it's like a creme brulee Peep almost.
Whoa.
It's nice.
That is taking Peeps to the next level.
When she's doing that, is that like walking by my daughter's bathroom and just seeing her brush her teeth, like just a regular thing? Like you see mom over there sauteing some freaking Peeps. Oh yeah. And you just keep going. It's like what the hell? It's like, no, she's just
it's routine. Yeah, it's routine, exactly.
Sauteing.
Where's your dad in all this?
He's usually eating them. Yeah. Eating the Peeps, eating the M&Ms.
He's getting the graham crackers out.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's fun times.
Good luck with listen, Cody's mom has been kind enough to drop off some fantastic freaking home cooking dessert that doesn't last too long if we're not traveling. I can only imagine. I mean, the caloric intake between his mama's output and your mom.
Man,
would she go Costco big bag fulls?
She gets gigantic bags around Halloween time and stuff. But yeah, since I've moved out, my candy intake has gone down significantly, so that's a plus.
And that's why he's wearing his Easter shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you got to show off, hey, I'm getting fitter.
Never skip leg day, you know?
Yeah. Cool. Sitting very comfortable in those shorts.
Yeah.
What are you afraid? You afraid something's about to fall out?
I'm trying not to. That's been the goal the entire show. Nothing's going to pop out here.
Your paisano is not going to freaking
exactly.
drop, huh?
Exactly. Yep.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, Freak Nation, did you see this? Man, General Tire, they hopped on board for Easter. They're putting out
April Fools is what they hopped on board for. Let's go. What?
Oh, come on.
Like I say, man.
They didn't make them into anybody's baskets this morning, so all good.
You sent this post in our chat, and I was like, I want those.
I do too.
Bad.
Yeah. Same.
The green ones, especially.
Yeah, if you're watching this, Freak Nation, and not listening to us on the Freak Radio Network, there is a snappy photo of some General Tire Trail Mix gummy tire snacks. And these are little tires, little tiny General Tires that look like they are gummies. And
those are the grabbers.
Hey, oh boy.
Grab your gummies.
Yep.
Grab our gummies.
All
Gummy
right.
grabbers.
There's that. Now, Crasher, what are the other examples of some sweets that we have here in the Freak Nation as we just completely occupy people's time on a Sunday night who I know stay up to watch this last segment of Sweet
Well, they
Freaks?
clearly have chocolate in their hands anyway.
Right.
This week, no, a week and a half ago, I believe it was, wasn't there a Kit Kat heist? And, well, put up the CBS statement first. There was a Kit Kat heist. I believe this was shortly after the Formula One race in Japan. It might have been. It's just over the same weekend.
And this is not an April Fool joke, right?
We didn't think so at the time.
Okay.
12 tons of Kit Kat bars were stolen. It was a chocolatey heist that, people were getting a little afraid. Shortage right before Easter. How dare you? And yes, there was something, what was it, between Italy and another country? Anyway, this made news. Then you fast forward to April Fool's Day, and Kit Kat put out a statement because a lot of people thought, you got us. You got us. Great April Fool's joke that you pulled on us. They said, okay, we can confirm that 12 tons of Kit Kat products were stolen while in transit between central Italy and their destination in Poland. We are working closely with local authorities and supply chain partners to investigate, basically telling us, no, this is not an April Fool. The good news, though, there's no concerns for consumer safety. Supply is not affected. Yay, Easter. You should be okay. The bunny will be delivering Kit Kats as normal. But I'm still confused. I'm like, is that an official statement that's not an official statement? Is that like part of the April Fool? I still feel like we're going to be punked with either Kit Kat sponsored Formula One drivers or Pato Award come Monday.
Cody Big Johnson, how many 16-ounce Kit Kats equal 12 tons, right? 12 tons? Make sure I got that in there.
12 tons, yep.
12 tons. How many Kit Kats?
I have no idea. Let's go.
Great answer.
46,000.
Okay, 46,000.
212,000.
Got it?
269
Very nice.
and a half.
Oh, close. Crasher?
Well, do you want Cole to guess? Because I know what it is.
How in the hell? Because you looked on my phone?
I saw the story.
Is it in the story?
Yes, it's in the story. It's 413,000 and change.
I was close.
Kit Kats.
Wow.
See, Cole would have been even close.
A standard Kit Kat bar is about 1.5 ounces, regularly 4-finger bar size. So, 24,000 pounds. This says 346,000. 384. Jesus, man.
Well, I read 413,000 Kit Kats are what's missing, allegedly.
A standard Kit Kat bar is about 1.5 ounces. So, 256,000 Kit Kats equals 12 tons.
Maybe I think I'm going with Crash on this because remember these are like the Formula One.
Okay, so the Kit Kats that were stolen were indeed the Formula One Kit Kats.
They were. That's what I read from the story.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
So they're smaller than the regular ones, right?
No, they're bigger.
Huh?
They're usually bigger.
Slightly bigger.
Yeah, they're a bit more clunkier.
Well, then there would be more than. So you think they're bigger than 1.5 ounces?
I think that's what's going on here. Is that's why there's a discrepancy. There's a difference.
I still think it's a punk.
It does say products in the press release, so it could be multiple different varieties. We got king size, we got 4 bars, we got.
Yeah, take this teardown. You ain't gonna talk about this on your show.
hell
Ain't getting this on the teardown or the Gluckcast or the DennyHamlin.com show. Hell yeah.
And one last thing that we really, and in all honesty, given the fact that the Cusimano family, their proclivity to jump into a freaking chocolate pool anytime they can, we should have went to Costco and purchased this and just sat it in the middle during our show and just ate it the entire time. You care to share with the Freak Nation? Look at that thing.
He's cute.
Look at that guy.
Did they say that is, what is the size of it again?
That's a 10-pound chocolate bunny that requires a hammer to eat.
10 pounds. And if I remember this correctly from the article, over 22,000 calories.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's the number you don't read on Easter.
You don't read calories on Easter. That's so true. So true.
So, Freak Nation, do you feel better this Easter, the fact that we shared with you some of our insight when it comes to chocolate, real chocolate, big fat chocolate, or how many freaking Kit Kats are in a damn ton? My goodness. I'm just a little concerned with Cole Cusimano over there with his family. That's all they eat is chocolate. I bet my daughter at 12 years old has had more vegetables and fruit than you have. How old are you?
30.
30. You think she has?
Absolutely. 1,000%. Yes. I don't eat vegetables. Are you kidding me? I'm all about the protein, man.
How the hell are you?
You need a nice
how do you
fat
survive?
Steak, pizza, chicken. That's about it, man.
What more do you want?
I have olives on my pizza sometimes. That's a vegetable.
That's a green.
There you go. So
Does your mom have like stents in her refrigerator door that somehow? 'Cause I don't know how this works.
Man, I don't know either. It's insane. The candy
If we look in the Guinness Book of World Records, am I going to see your name for the youngest person to ever have hemorrhoids? At 4 years old, 'cause you didn't eat any fiber?
I'm sure I had vegetables when I was a kid, but, make my own decisions now.
So, if you had to eat vegetables, what would they be?
Celery, carrots, olives, cucumbers. That's about it.
Cucumbers are good.
Green beans?
No.
Corn?
No. Corn, yeah. Yep. Corn on the cob, whatever. For sure.
Potato?
Yeah. I eat some.
Okay.
I mean,
what, zucchini?
Yeah, sure.
Cucumber?
I say
He said
cucumbers.
cucumber,
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
like your broccoli, asparagus, green bean, lima beans, like that stuff I'm not going to eat.
You just don't want your pee to smell.
No. No. Very picky.
It's actually kind of interesting at times. Just saying. Asparagus can do wonders for your system.
All right, Cody Big Johnson, what about you? What is your vegetable intake, my friend?
I actually enjoy some vegetables, so
yeah.
I don't have a list of them, but I will tell you that celery is the devil, and I can't even stand it being in the fridge. Celery salt, that's got to go, all of it. And if it's got celery in it, period, it's got to go. I'm anti-celery in this house.
Richie, you being the residential, do you, when you go shop at Safeway or Fry's or at Albertsons, do you actually buy vegetables?
No.
God.
I did buy some fruit this week. So
Ooh, stepping up.
Don't remember what the name of the fruit was, but it's there, and I got it in the fridge at home.
Strawberry.
A random fruit? You know
Yeah,
what
it's
it
a
is?
random fruit. Yeah,
What?
We might need Leah Pruett to write a fruit book for Richie here.
Please.
Could be cantaloupe.
Is tomato a fruit or a vegetable?
I believe there is consternation about this. I'm going to call it a veggie.
Same.
Yeah.
It's fruit.
It's because of the seeds?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm just freaking tap dancing until we get the hell out of this show, Freak Nation. Jesus, man.
What do they say? It's like wisdom is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, but knowledge is knowing that it shouldn't go in a fruit salad. Something like that.
Whoa.
And
therefore, it's not a fruit.
Hot dog is a sandwich.
I'll argue that with you. Good point.
There it is.
But
All right,
chocolate
Freak.
is the major food group of the weekend.
Thank goodness we're going to have NASCAR back next week, and of course NHRA and IndyCar, whatever the hell they come on board.
IndyCar's 2 weeks.
Be sure you like us and subscribe at Official Speed Freaks on YouTube to get our second hour of Speed Freaks coming up now.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
In life, you get out what you put in. Time, effort, dedication. On the track, in the garage, in your vehicle. When you choose Lucas Oil, your vehicle delivers. Mile after mile. Generation after generation. Lessons learned, passion earned. Lucas Oil, it works.
Freak Nation, head to your local General Tire dealership now to check out the latest additions to their product lineup. The Grabber family of tires are engineered for durability and feature innovative performance features that offer all-terrain capability, blending exceptional off-road durability and impressive on-road performance, all while sporting aggressive styling. For outstanding off-road performance coupled with strong street manners, look no further than General Tire. General Tire delivers for whatever you do, and the official tire of Speed Freaks since 2001.
Tickets are on sale now for the 10th Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Sunday, June 7th features 3 huge races. The USAC Classic, Firestone Indy Next, and the only Sunday night prime time NTT IndyCar Series race. Enjoy a weekend of cars, concerts, camping, food, and fun. The stars of the Indy 500 are coming to St. Louis. Get your tickets now and save big at WWTRaceway.com.
Some people, they follow the rules. Here at the Freak Nation, we don't. Go to our YouTube channel at Official Speed Freaks and hit the store link, and you'll be able to own a part of the Freak Nation, from adult to kids tees, freaking hoodies, beanies to styling lids, kicks, and coffee mugs. All carrying Speed Freaks attitude that's been rattling cages for 25 years. This ain't fashion. It's a big old fat middle finger to boring. Hello. You want to blend in? Keep walking. hit up Speed Freak's YouTube page and bang the store link so you too can own a part of the Freak Nation.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
So when that thing's upside down and you're trying to get out onto the pavement and you got to get bent in around the seat, I mean, it's not easy to get out of a stock car upside down. So I went to go get out, and I couldn't get my helmet out the way that it was. So then I took my helmet off, and I started trying to push it out, and the corner worker is pushing my helmet back in. And I got hot oil on me and everything. He goes, no, they told me you can't get out. And he's pushing the helmet back in, and I'm like, dude, listen, I'm about to kill this guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from the Lucas Oil Studios and riding on a dope set of General Tires, it's Speed Freaks, Kenny Sargent, Crash Gladys, Richie, Cole, and Cody, Big Johnson. This isn't a show, it's a takeover, no rules, no limits, just speed, smoke, and straight talk. Strap in, Freak Nation! This is Speed Freaks!
We already won. We already won. Look at all that black rock. Where's the smoke at? Yeah.
So, Freak Nation, Casey Mears has been bugging me for the last 5 or 6 years. When the hell am I going to come in the studio and be a part of the Freak Nation? And I didn't know that your wife and you came to an agreement like, we're just done with Carolina. Let's move to Arizona. And you're a hell of a storyteller. Remember, this isn't a 6-hour show, Casey. Run me through why you moved from Carolina to Arizona and how long you've been here in Arizona.
Yeah, so my wife and I actually met out here quite a few years ago. When I'd come out here to race, she was working at the Phoenician and going to nursing school, and that's kind of how we met and connected. And, obviously things worked out for us. She moved back to North Carolina, started raising our kids. But we always talked about how when things slowed down that we'd like to come back out to Arizona. And when the 13 thing fell apart for me, and there was a couple options back there in North Carolina for me to run in other cars, but it was going to be in probably equipment that wasn't that great, not getting paid that much. And I thought, well, why am I going to be gone, not seeing my kids every single weekend, to not get paid and not have a chance to be competitive, right?
And this is 10 or 12 years into your NASCAR career.
Yeah.
So you're at the point of I gotta have something solid.
Yeah, I was actually probably 15, right?
Oh.
So I started in 2002. This is 2016. When this happened. So, so my wife rolled over one day, in bed after this all had happened, and she's like, "Hey, you ready to move?" And I was like, "I think I am." So I mean, we pretty much immediately put everything up for sale. I had a shop out near the lake, and I had our house was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we put it all up for sale. And I think we had everything sold in 3 or 4 weeks, and we bought a townhome online, and we moved out to Arizona. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
that's great. Yeah.
So you had race cars out there, didn't you? Have a mud bogger or a sand car or something. You sold all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I kept some of that stuff because I knew we were coming back out west, and that's where we ran it a lot, right? So at first, I hung on to some of that stuff. Slowly, I've kind of sold a couple things, but still have a couple Can-Ams and some Polarises and stuff like that to go play out in the sand with. But the whole shop, got rid of my motorhome, sold all kinds of stuff, and then packed up and left, and it's been great. I mean, honestly, I think about making that decision, and at first I didn't know if it was the right thing to do, but really I wouldn't give back those years for anything. The last 10 years that I've had to be in my kids' lives, seeing all the baseball games, all the cheer competitions, all the stuff that we were able to do as a family with them at a young age. To think about it, if I was still in motorsports like I was before, I would have missed so much of that. So it was pretty. A little bit of God's timing,
Mm-hmm.
But when you made that move and that call, let's get back to Arizona, was that a my full-time racing career is done. Now it's about me dedicating my full time to this family?
Pretty much. I mean, I think inadvertently, you know, I mean, I think it was really hard for me to say that I was done with motorsports. I still can't hardly say that, but I didn't want my career to be done at that moment, you know, and it was more difficult. I look back on it now, I felt like I was dealing with it fine, but you know, those first couple of years were pretty difficult. And I mean, shoot, you got to think from the time I was 5 years old, I was going to the racetrack.
Yep.
You know, so it wasn't really, you know, this life that I chose. It was a life that I lived my whole life, right? Going to races, the racetrack, the people at the racetrack, they were kind of your extended family, you know, so, and especially being in NASCAR for so long. I mean, you know, going back and running some races now and seeing all those people again, it reminds me of how many good friends that I have, you know, in that paddock and in that garage. So, you know, there was some moments where I just kind of got myself into some projects. Like we bought, for my brother and sister-in-law, we bought back an old Jeep that my wife learned how to drive a stick shift in back in South Dakota. And so I got that, and we started fixing that thing up. It used to be her dad's, and got into a couple other projects just to kind of stay busy because, you know, it was hard to watch the races for sure.
Where's the money coming from?
To fix up the Jeep?
No, to live.
To live? You know, I mean, I was fortunate enough that I did, you know, well enough that we're able to, you know, get by the way we are right now. I rode that wave. I don't know how much you guys know about it, but like, you know, obviously in 2008 when the prices of everything were up, houses were selling for nothing. I was fortunate to be in a contract year, you know, right around 2008, 2009. And the dollar signs, gosh, I think they quadrupled, tripled from what, you know, everybody was getting at that time, you know, in motorsports and NASCAR. It was super healthy. I mean, the crowds were huge.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I feel very fortunate to be a part of NASCAR at the time that I was, not just from a financial reason, but from a competitive side as well. I mean, all the teams were hiring the best guys that they could put in the seat. There was no, you know, daddy's money or anything like that coming in at that moment because every team had the dollars they needed to really go racing, and they hired the best guys they could get.
That has always been something in motorsports, whether it's open wheel, sports cars, NASCAR, you name it. Daddy's money, or at least the illusion of daddy's money. And to think that there was actually a time that NASCAR did not require that. That is phenomenal. And now we're kind of back into who's bringing money for seats in almost every facet of motorsports again. What is it going to take to get out of that? I mean, it is such an expensive sport.
It really is. And you know, and not to bash some of the guys that come in that had money, because there's some guys that came in that were really talented, but there was a lot of guys that came in that weren't, right? You know, I think NASCAR is really going in the right direction right now. I hated seeing them go through what they went through, you know, in this offseason, in general, just for the sport. But I do think that if they can ever get to a position where these teams are fully funded beyond sponsorship, some way, shape, or form, you know, if the series can bring in enough money to fund the teams, which they're trying to do better through the prize purse, you know, things are getting better. Obviously, the charters are becoming, you know, more valuable. That entices people who want to get involved. They're doing a lot of the right things, but if they can ever get once to where, and I know the dollar signs are pretty high, where each team is getting somewhere around $15 million a year. If they could do that, then the sponsorship is kind of icing on the cake, right? If you can get more sponsorship and you can make your team better, then great, but you don't have the guys in the back being non-competitive, floating around, not having the things that they need, and being able to hire guys, you know, that they need to come drive their car. And it's slowly going that direction, I think.
And potentially, yes, the offseason was tough for a lot of people on the outside looking in, but potentially that helped move this forward a little longer with the Jordan lawsuit and Furniture Row.
Yeah, I don't want to pretend to be an expert on that. You know, I followed it kind of like everybody else did, you know, through social media.
But you have an opinion.
Yeah, no, I definitely have an opinion. I mean,
right?
I think that you know, I think it was a good thing in the end. You know, it's unfortunate some of the stuff that came out, and I hate that some people had to be drugged through the dirty laundry on it. You know, but I think at the end of the day, you know, I think it's going to help take NASCAR into the right direction a little bit further. And I got to say, I mean, just watching the first couple races of the season and being a part of them, it feels like there's an energy. You know, I really feel like that NASCAR is in a good place. It's in a growth spurt, and I think that you know, the price of the charters are kind of reflecting that.
Cole, jump in, man. We're hogging the mics here.
One thing I was curious to know about. So you said that transition initially from the Carolinas to Arizona was a little bit rough those first couple years. Around that time was like right as Phoenix Raceway was transitioning into that new multi-million-dollar renovation. And prior to that, there really wasn't a huge racing scene, I feel like, in Arizona. Obviously, the dirt tracks and the grass stuff's kind of gone away. But since then, you've kind of seen firsthand, like we have, like the racing community, I feel like, kind of really improved over the years since this renovation. What's it been like to be a part of that and just seeing how it all came about firsthand?
I've really enjoyed it. I was fortunate. One of the things I did, because I had to figure out how to do something, right, when I came out here. And the first thing I thought of, well, I'll reach out to the people at Phoenix, Raceway, because, that's kind of my wheelhouse. So Julie Giese at the time was the track president, and I reached out to her. And fortunately, I was able to do some things with them at the track, do a little bit of Jumbotron stuff, but interviews with drivers and appearances for them and that kind of thing. And so it was fun to be involved, and it was neat to see, when they did that new renovation. I mean, it was absolutely amazing what they did. And I agree that I think motorsports in general is on the rise, and I think a lot of that came from that F1 show. I mean, I really do. Yeah, when we were going through the COVID situation and everybody was stuck at home and watching everything they could on Netflix, right as that F1 show came out, I mean, it absolutely blew up. I mean, I couldn't believe a year or two after that show came out. I mean, I used to have general conversations with a mom walking through Target or something like that, and they would have no idea what F1 was. They never looked at racing. They never listened to it. They never understood it. And now I'm completely baffled at the people that I talk to. They go, "Oh, I love that F1 show," right? And because they like that show and they like the drama behind it. Maybe a guy loved the the motorsports aspect and the technology in the cars, but then a lot of the women liked what was going on behind the scenes and learning more about the drivers. So the show was really, really well done, and I think it helped a lot of motorsports across the board because it opened up people's eyes to motorsports, and they go, "Oh, there's NASCAR in town. I've never experienced that before. I love this F1 thing. I'm going to go check it out." And I think that was one of the biggest things that kind of gave an uptick in momentum, for sure.
Very cool. I think one of the reasons you're sitting on this set, and I'm trying to run through the dates. It's going to be tough to handle this within 45 minutes, but with you making this pass, running the Daytona 500 for 2026, the reaction I think was to me was like, damn it, I finally got to get you in the studio, because of the love that was shared for you once you made that. I was standing there. I've got pictures. I got video, and you collabed with us on something. It was just fun to freaking see, man.
Yeah.
And I thought, damn it, I got to get you back in here. Then thinking the history of you, and of course we know your uncle, but your dad. You got the Mint 400 this week. I thought it's time to get you in here. So let's start from when we saw you at the Daytona 500 this year. Give me the Cliff Notes version of how it came about, how you found that, according to our good friend, $1.5 million to run this race.
Yeah. We, it's a long story, so I'll try to shorten as much as I can. But really, it came from that first race I ran at Martinsville. I had a great group, Acrisure and Car Security, that kind of stepped up and made that deal happen. It was a real low budget deal, but we went and got to the track, and it made people realize that what I wanted to accomplish getting to these 500 starts was I was serious about it. I kept having conversations and it was going nowhere, and I'm like, I just got to get to the track. And so I got to the track, and it was difficult. The car was not good. Motor was down on horsepower, but I was able to let everybody know what I wanted to do. And then we ended up clipping off a few more races last season. And Bob Germain is a guy that was my old car owner that really stepped up and said, "Hey, I want to make this happen. Let's go do this." He didn't need to say this because I don't think this is the case, but when I did get released from the 13, he had a really good opportunity with Ty. Why am I losing it? Ty Dillon. And it brought a lot of funding to the program. RCR helped out with engines and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, the long and the short of it is, Bob goes, "Hey, I always felt guilty about getting out of the car when I did."
Oh.
And he goes, I just want to help you do this." And I said, "Man, I really appreciate it. I don't expect you to do that, but I really appreciate it." And I was thinking that, he was going to put up some money to run a race or two, and he committed a substantial number, to go after this and go after these 500 starts. So huge thank you to him. And the whole Daytona thing was amazing. I mean, we didn't have the speed. We qualified like last or second to last, I think, on speed. We knew that it was probably going to be difficult to make the show, but in drafting, you can kind of make some things happen. We really struggled to kind of hold on to the back of the pack. It would just, the car just wasn't that fast. If I can get wedged up in there, I'd be fine. But then the biggest concern that we had in the 150s was so Brad Keselowski and his other team cars were really trying to get Corey LaJoie in, and then you had the front row guys that were trying to get in. Who was it else that was there? I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, there was each one of those guys had two teammates in that race. So whether they were helping that car or creating a disadvantage for me, I couldn't move forward. I mean, every time I got a run, somebody would just kill the run or back out, or I couldn't get away from the back of the pack because I'm fighting not 2 cars, I'm fighting 6, And so for us to get into the Daytona 500 in the fashion that we did, I mean, obviously if Corey wouldn't have had the issue that he had, we wouldn't be sitting here today. But the fact that we were able to have a big run, get around it, for us to make it the way we did was just huge. And you're right, the love was unreal. We as a team and as a driver, I mean, shoot, we felt like we almost won a race. It was amazing, how many people are pulling for you and want to see the underdog make it. And it made me realize how many fans, over the years that I did have, that have reached back out and, are back involved in the sport again and want to watch again because you're back out there. So it was cool. And it was cool to see just in the garage too, the people, like I've said, that are friends for a long time, were just really extremely, truly happy, that we were able to make that happen. That was a cool experience.
So is it 500 starts and then done? Or is this kind of, hey, I can dabble in this for years to come?
Yeah, I mean, I think the goal is for sure to do 500. It's very difficult to do it the way I'm trying to do it right now. Yeah. It's with the charter programs locked in place, there's very few big teams that are running like a 3rd or a 4th program where I could go and run something that's really competitive and really go out and have a good time. But it's a goal that I want to accomplish and I want to do. And if there's an opportunity to continue to, run a handful of races after that, I wouldn't probably say no to it if we could put it together in the right fashion. So it sparked a couple other things too, just being around the garage again. There's maybe a potential to do maybe some truck races and some things like that. So. I don't know that for sure, some light conversation, but when you're back in the game again, it kind of gets things rolling,
Oh yeah. The connections come back.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. One thing I'm kind of curious about too is, you mentioned the adversity you went through to make this 500 this year. You drove for teams in the past in NASCAR, Chip Ganassi, Rick Hendrick. Like, these are teams that are like titans of the sport. So can you kind of like differentiate the two and just how different it is driving a car this year compared to those years in the past? I know it's a whole different generation of car, obviously, but just for people that maybe don't know what goes into making these cars and all the processes, what's that difference like?
Right. So, what I'm learning about these cars is that, obviously they're pretty much a kit, right? But there's, if anybody that goes go-kart racing knows that it's very difficult to make 100 go-karts identical, right? I mean, if you go and make 100 go-karts, if a big team buys 100 chassis, they're going to pick 10 and they're going to run those because there's going to be 10 that are just better than the other 100, and that's kind of what this racing's turned into. The big teams and the big programs that just have volume of parts and pieces and supply are the ones that are going to have the advantage, right? If you got a 4-car team and you can buy 7 of everything, then they got 7 center sections, 7 front clips, 7 rear clips, 7 right front upper control arms. They have a vast supply of parts, and then they go in and they roamer arm and scan absolutely everything. So then they have identical measurements for every single part, and then they pick the best 3 or 4 center sections, best 3 or 4 rear clips, best 3 or 4 front clips, and they bolt these cars together. Because at the end of the day, when there's variance, and we're talking hundreds of thousands, in variance. But at the end of the day, if you can get just a little bit more travel or get the thing to do something that you want it to do just a little bit more by manipulating those things, not by bending them or changing them, but just physically putting parts together that are just slightly different, then you can create an advantage in that way. So when you got a team like ours that bought cars from somebody else that probably bought those cars from somebody else that didn't want them to begin with, it doesn't matter if you got an identical, like somebody from Hendrick Motorsports can come in and hand me the exact setup, and there's absolutely no way we're going to run as well as they do, because the parts and pieces that we're putting on the car we can't put together in the same fashion. So there's already a built-in disadvantage. And then when you got these guys that have the Hawkeye that they have at the racetrack that scans the bodies and scans the underbody and all that kind of stuff, when people have those at their shop, they can spend hours and hours and days in those things, just maximizing all those little parts and pieces, and that's where the advantage is now. And so initially, I think it was a great thing when this car came in because nobody knew it. Yeah. Nobody knew how to manipulate it. Nobody knew what it needed, and we're seeing teams that probably shouldn't have run good run really well.
The parity was great.
Yeah, it was amazing, right? But then the same old thing. The longer you have something, the bigger guys start finding out all those details. And it's virtually made it impossible for a small program like the one I'm with to come in and be competitive. And not only that, there's proprietary information through the OEMs now because the Ford, Chevy, Toyota, they have their teams and they've all put a big pile of money in this thing together to develop and learn all these little things. So being an outside guy to come in, if back in the old days, you'd find some team that was like, hey, man, I want to help you out. They'll give you something cool or, hey, here's what you need to do. But now it's impossible, because there's big contracts in place. Nobody's sharing any information. And, it's a tough spot to be in. But the thing that I'm looking at is I just really enjoy being back at the track, seeing my friends again, being in a car again, knowing that we got a huge uphill battle. Nothing's expected out of us. Right. So if we pull something off, it's just icing on the cake, so.
Does that make your weekends more relaxing?
It makes them probably more enjoyable, because I when I was with Hendrick and I'm running around, 8th or 6th and, you got a gun to your head and you're just mad that you're not first. Right. And it's not, you're the whole time you don't have a chance to really enjoy what you're doing because it's your job, and you're trying to, later on, after you have a good race, you can celebrate it and enjoy it. But as you're going through the process, you're usually mad and frustrated, trying to get more out of the car, trying to get more out of yourself, trying to find, all these little details. And I'm finding going to the track now, I'm really in a super low pressure situation. I feel like, the car's not supposed to be competitive. We're not supposed to do well. So if we do, it's great. If we don't, it's expected that we don't do well. So I can go there really relaxed, take it in, enjoy the crowd, enjoy the fans. This is I've said it before, it's a bonus round for me. So being able to just be at the track and enjoy it is fun from that aspect.
We're going to roll this video many years ago with your first win with Hendrick. And we're going to be able to hear your commentary right now as you watch this video. Go ahead and roll it, Cody.
No pressure,
bring
and
this
he has
volume
got
down
it
a bit.
made. He can coast from there.
All right. So what are you going through right now?
So what a lot of people don't know is I had a right front tire coming apart. And for the last 5 or 6 laps, I had a huge vibration in the car. And we were doing all we could to get to the end without messing up the tire or having a tire blow. So I was just nervous. I mean, here we are in a position to win, my first race ever, and I'm hoping that the tire doesn't come apart. I'm hoping I don't run out of gas, And when we crossed that finish line, man, it was amazing. You can see me shaking the car right there because as soon as I crossed the start-finish line, I ran out. So, I mean, it was amazing. And the guys brought me the tire after the race, and it had a big, I don't know, probably 8-inch long by 3 inches wide patch missing out of the tire.
8-inch long.
We'd never had any issues. We had never had any issues the whole race, and that last set of tires, I had a bad tire, and it was delaminating and coming apart.
Wow. Is that something that you saved too? Like they brought the tire over to you. Do you have that saved somewhere?
I wish I would have. They showed it to me, and I always thought, man, that's amazing. And I just never thought to ask for the tire. And I think eventually they just kind of got rid of it, like they do all tires. But that was a huge moment. That was a special moment because 1, it was my first win. 2, it was Memorial Day weekend, and we had the National Guard on the car. Also, Memorial Day weekend is just a huge weekend for my family. We're in Charlotte. It's in your backyard. Mom and Dad were there. My grandfather was there. There was a bunch of people that were in town for the race. So it was just a really big weekend. It was the first ever win for Chevrolet, and their new, at that time it was the R07 motor. It was the very first win for Chevrolet with that motor. And we had some fallen soldiers on the back of the deck lid, and we had some families that were there visiting for the race, and we had one guy I'll never forget in the National Guard. He was at every single race, and he always helped out with the generals and stuff when they came to the track. Super nice guy. And he had to, it was getting close to the end of the race. It didn't look like we were going to win. I think some of the generals and stuff had to fly out. They had business to do the next day, right? So he had to drive them to the airport in Concord, and he ended up getting dropped off like at Concord Mills, which was the mall, which is probably like 5 miles away from the track, maybe 4 miles away from the track. And when he was sitting at a bar watching it in the race, and he could see that we were about to win with 5 to go, and he took off running. He was in his full like fatigues, and everything, and he ran and he made it to victory lane.
No, he did not.
Yeah, awesome. He did. He ran the whole way, so it was a neat deal. Real neat deal.
He ran 5 miles in your 5 laps.
Yeah, he was sweating, man. I mean, he looked like he just ran the race, Yeah, for sure.
What did that win do for you, your career, your reputation, with not just your team but the rest of the field?
I mean, I think anytime that you can win a race at this level, it offers a level of respect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would have been better, I think, if we would have won it on merit. I mean, we ran inside the top 5 all day long, but it didn't look like we were going to win the race. Then we'd use strategy at the end to win it. But it just felt good to get that win, under my belt. It'd been quite a while, and I was very close with Ganassi. I mean, we were leading probably 4 or 5 races at the end with a late race caution, and it just didn't go our way, down pit road.
Phantom
and that kind
cautions.
Of thing.
I mean, that's me saying it, not you. So that's all good.
No, they definitely existed, and so. It just felt like a big weight was lifted off your shoulders,
Nice.
and again, that was one of those moments in my career where, people just came out of the woodwork.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't realize the people that the friendships you made and the people that, were supporting and following all along. It was a cool experience.
There's a black and white picture I want to put up on screen, and it's of it's of your dad and your uncle way back when. Go ahead and put it up. Look at that photo.
Oh, yeah. That's wild, isn't it?
Roger Mears, Rick Mears.
Look at those goggles.
Yeah, that was before anything got big, man. They were just, my dad and my uncle were working on backhoes with my grandfather. They had a backhoe business, and at night they'd work on their cars in the garage with Grandpa, and those were the days when they'd go out desert racing or go to local short tracks down at Ascot Park in California, and that was before it all got big, but that's what started it. That's when the Mears gang, got started. That's when they first started, doing that. They would go down to Ascot Park, and they did really well, and they were always winning. They always came with a bunch of friends that would help them out, to go down there.
Sprint
and race.
cars?
They were like buggies, it was like off-road buggies with wings,
Yes.
and they'd go down and just whip everybody's butt. And if they didn't win, they usually won the fight afterwards.
That's what I want to ask you about.
Yeah.
Because the Mears family, I mean, anybody that knows you or Rick or your dad, you guys are so damn nice. But if I would want you guys with me in any bar fight, because you guys are badasses in that regard too.
Yeah, there was my grandfather is always such a good guy, along with my dad and my uncle, but it was definitely, if things didn't go the way they felt like they should go, they could handle business in another way. And what happened was the Mears gang, the reason why it started is somebody in the media one day said here comes the Mears gang, and wrote an article about it. So my dad drew the logo, and and we've had it ever since. So I've just always tried to keep that alive.
Oh, as you should.
Yeah.
As you should.
Let's again. I wish we had 3 hours, Casey, but we all know about your uncle, Rick Mears, 4 Indy 500s. His relationship with Penske. He's still involved, and what he's brought to the Mears name. But your dad was a freaking badass. Yeah, go ahead and bring that up to your mouth a little closer.
Yeah,
was a freaking badass when it came to off road. I know he ran IndyCar, ran the 500 a few times. And Pikes Peak Hill Climb.
Pikes Peak Hill Climb. Yeah.
Why did Rick end up in open wheel and your dad stuck with the freaking blue collar off road Pikes Peak Hill Climb?
I think it was just really opportunity. I mean, at the time, my dad got some opportunities to run in IndyCars that weren't quite as good, and he just didn't quite have the success. But you're absolutely right. I mean, my dad was absolutely a badass in a race car. I mean, I loved watching him run those Mickey Thompson off-road races, and seeing old footage of him at Pikes Peak, and I mean, we got pictures of my dad with the right rear hanging off the edge of Pikes Peak, full in the gas, all the way at the top, just doing some really cool stuff. And that's one thing about my dad is that nobody ever doubted whether or not he was standing in the gas. You know what I mean? It was like he was getting everything out of that car at all times. And I love that aspect. And I was fortunate to, obviously grow up, watching my dad and my uncle, Rick had a different approach. He was kind of maybe the smoother, more tactical guy. My dad was the guy that just absolutely stood in the gas and was going to go hard. And I got a chance to learn from both of them. You know, I felt like, you know, I like to think that I've picked up a lot from both those guys. But yeah, my dad's number one on my list. I mean, I've watched him so intently over the years, pulled for him so hard. And it's crazy on the flip side to see him doing the same thing for me. You know, I mean, he'd be up on the motorhome, you know, punching holes through the top of the motorhome when things weren't going right, and jumping up and down when things were going good, and wearing it, I think, like I wore it when I was watching him. It was pretty cool.
The catheter to your right wasn't used. It wasn't used. Go ahead. Go and pick. It wasn't used.
Wait, it wasn't used?
It wasn't used. Go and pick it up. There's a story behind that. There's a reason.
There's a trick behind this.
No, there's not. No. There's a story behind that.
The good news is it's been in a desert garage for probably 15 years.
It's definitely seen better days.
Yeah, I mean, you know what that's used for, right?
I do know what that's used for.
Can you explain to the Freak Nation, because there's a story behind that involves your dad?
I've used these several times, and down the off-road races when you're running the Baja 1000, you're in the truck for 6 to 10 hours. You gotta go, right? So you put one of those things on, you run it down your pant leg, you know, just let it go out the bottom of the car when you gotta go, and that's how it works.
That's from Ivan Ironman Stewart. And
okay.
When we started Speed Freaks 25 years ago, he came in several times. And we talked about catheters and crazy things going on in the desert. Next time he came in, he brought that catheter. It wasn't used. He just wanted to show it to us. But one of the names that he brought up in his conversation of dudes that he'd like to beat or really respected was Walker Evans. There was another name, but then there was your dad. Yeah. His name came up a couple of times. And when Ivan talks about somebody, that's some respect.
Yeah.
Talking about Roger Mears.
Yeah, well, those guys went at it for a lot of years in the Mickey Thompson off-road stuff. Yep. I mean, for years. You know, they weren't necessarily always in the same class when it came to the desert, just because they ran different vehicles, different kinds of vehicles. But I saw those guys go at it hard, you know, in the Mickey Thompson off-road stuff. And those were short, fast, hard races. You had to earn it. It had my dad's name written all over it. You know, I mean, exactly how he drove. You know, my dad always built his own stuff, had his own team. You know, at the time had a Nissan sponsorship, but the Toyota deal was bigger. It was a lot bigger, you know. So I would say Dad's team was underfunded relative to what Ivan had, and but they still figured out how to go out and beat those guys, you know, with what we had, and I loved watching that stuff. And I got a lot of respect for Ivan. I mean, that guy's done more in an off-road desert truck than probably almost anybody, and you know, it's cool to anytime one of those guys, you know, when Walker would talk about Dad. When Ivan would talk about Dad, you know, you could tell there was a good level of respect, and it was the same for my dad as well, you know, and I'm glad we got to spend some really good time with Walker, you know, the last few years before we lost him. You know, him and I seen my dad and him arm in arm at Crandon when I got to go run a couple years ago, just reminiscing the old times and getting to hang out, you know, was pretty cool.
What about that for you? I mean, you can cherry pick stuff right now. Granted, sponsorship is a whole nother beast, but what about some off-road races, whether it be the desert or short course? What about maybe another open wheel race? I mean, does that interest you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've been playing around in the desert the last few years. I did the Baja 1000 for Geyser Brothers with the Exalted truck. I ran with Robbie Gordon in 2021.
I'm sorry.
It was. Yeah.
Oh, no. We love Robbie. We love Robbie.
Yes.
We just blame hurricanes and tornadoes and earthquakes on Robbie. If there's an earthquake, Robbie caused it.
Yeah. He's a wild man, but I gotta tell you, man, that guy works harder than anybody in the sport.
He does
that's
work
for
hard.
Sure.
Yep.
And I got to drive his truck. You know, that badass truck that he built, and it is amazing. That thing is so fun to drive. I've turned around the last, you know, couple years, not this last season, or last year, but the 2 years before that, I ran with Brendan Gaughan in his Class 1 car down in the 1000 and have a really good time with him. His dad and my dad have a big history in the sport. They broke down. They met one of the first Baja 1000s my dad ever ran. They broke down right next to Brendan Gaughan's dad, Michael, and they spent the night in the desert together. Building a fire and trying to keep warm, so they got to know each other pretty well, and so that family has always been great to us for sure.
I don't think people really, truly can understand how difficult and arguably fearful desert racing can be. I mean, you talk about if they didn't break down together, they would have been just kind of on their own with the coyotes and with random people walking through, some with guns. I mean, it's crazy.
Especially back then, back in that must have been the late 60s, early 70s.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it wasn't like helicopters were flying around and GPS was there. I mean, they literally spent like a day and a half out there waiting just for somebody to come out so they can go, hey, we'd like to get home,
Well, I haven't told the story back in the 70s where he was running through the desert, one of the Bajas down in the desert there in Mexico, and that there were 3 or 4 Mexicans on a rock, butt-ass naked.
Yeah.
And he said, he kind of went over to them and he said they were probably on some whatever they were on, they were high as hell.
Yeah.
And he just went, he said, I'm out here. But the weird stuff that he saw, whether it was real or not, when you're running that 1,000 miles, I would imagine maybe the limited time that you've run, that you've seen some, or even been a part of some wild stuff in those runs.
No doubt. I mean, there's just that is, I guess, one of the dangerous things and the coolest things about Baja, right, is it's just so unpredictable. You don't know what you're going to get into. You don't know what kind of terrain you're going to see. You don't know if a donkey's going to be standing in the track, around the corner. You just don't know.
Or naked Mexicans on a rock.
Yeah, I mean, running in front of you. I mean, there was a section down in Baja. It was the middle of the night. All the fires were like 3 feet off the track, right? And we're doing 120 miles an hour in these trucks, just hauling ass. And these guys, it's in the middle of the night, and all it is solid smoke because all these campfires. And every once in a while, I mean, I'm in the gas, and then you just see someone shoot by in front of you, like just playing chicken with the truck, and you're like, damn, that was a guy that just ran in front of me. I mean, it's just there's so many elements of Mexico that you can go down to Mexico and you could run for an hour. And you could have stories for like 3 weeks, and that's one thing that's special about it. When you go down there, the people that do it with you and the people that you compete against when you go down there is the stories. When you get done with the race, spending time with everybody, talking to them about what they went through. I mean, everybody has a story, a battle, something that they fought, something that didn't go right, something crazy that they saw, as they're going through the desert
or thought they saw an illusion.
Yeah, it's just it's a really cool experience for sure.
Would you ever do Dakar? I mean, granted, it's all different places now.
I'd love to do something like that. I haven't really ever pushed to go there. Seeing Robbie do it, and then I know like Sarah Price has been over there doing it quite a bit. I got to do a pretty cool Can-Am ride with Cameron Steele down in Baja, and Sarah was a part of that. And it's neat watching her go over there and have some success and do well. I'd love to do something like that someday.
A couple of things, and I know you got to go back home and, of course, take care of the family. But some things that are going on right now. One, what Alex Palou is doing is an open-wheel driver for Chip Ganassi. Much respect, I would imagine, from yourself and the rest of guys who can respect open-wheel. But give me your 2 cents on Alex Palou and what kind of a driver he really is.
I don't know him personally. I've seen him in passing. I haven't spent a lot of time around the IndyCar side of things these days. But I mean, it just goes without saying, it's massively impressive. What he's able to. There's a few guys now that I'm retired, ish, to that I'm able to look back and go, okay, they just had a little bit more. I mean, it's when I was racing and when I was driving and trying to compete against these guys, I could never admit that to myself, and I never thought that. If you thought that, you're done before you ever get started. But there's a handful of guys, and he's one of those guys that just has a little extra. A Kyle Larson, a Tony Stewart, those types of guys just have a little bit extra. Jimmy, I think Kevin Harvick. There's a handful of guys that just have a little extra, and I can realize that now, and I think he might have a little extra. It's amazing. I mean, it's just I went to the Laguna Seca last year that Jimmy was running in IndyCars and wanted to go support him, go hang out, and that race was just unbelievable. He was so far ahead of second place, and it was a track where the tires were just wearing out like crazy, and how he was able to maintain that pace and run is just it's crazy. It's like watching SVG on a road course, right? You're like, how does this guy be that much better than everybody else around a road course? It was neat to see 45
Tyler Reddick.
Yep.
It was neat to see Tyler Reddick get him. But there's no doubt that Tyler's car is probably a little bit better on that day. He did a great job, but that's the guy that has something extra on the road courses.
Without question. Was that 2 years ago? Laguna Seca, was that 24?
It was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alex Palou has led the points ever since then. So it's you.
That's
clearly,
unreal.
you were there, and he's never lost the point
Yeah,
lead.
if I go back, it might mess it up, so I'll stay away, I guess.
So you're not going to Phoenix this weekend.
So speaking of Reddick,
Yeah.
winning 3 races in a row,
Yeah.
going for his 4th at Phoenix. Talk about that from that perspective, from a team that's not Hendrick, it's not Penske, it's not RCR, it's not.
Right. No, I think that he's just an amazing talent, right? I think he showed that 2 and 3, 4 years ago that if he got into the right stuff, he was going to really take off, and he's taken full advantage of it. I don't know him well either, but I've talked to him in passing at the track recently, the last couple of years now that I've been around, and a great guy. Really like him a lot, and I love seeing a good guy that works hard, be successful the way that he is, right? He deserves it. Sometimes when these guys have attitudes or, don't treat things quite right, you kind of, man, I wish he wouldn't be as successful as he is. But he's a guy that's a good guy, super talented, taking advantage of it, and it's really cool to see. And I think, that 2311 group started off with a pretty good relationship with Joe Gibbs that gave them a really good start, and I think they've taken kind of what those guys have done and that information and elevated it even more. And it's cool to see a new group come in like that and have some success.
And I'm also really curious to hear. So obviously Michael Jordan's been a big fixture in NASCAR these last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What do you think this is doing for the sport? Just him having this success with this newer team in 2311 racing. Do you think it's really helping as much as we think it is? On the inside, I guess.
Yeah, I think it just broadens the horizon of the sport, right? It draws those people that maybe never watched NASCAR that were huge basketball fans are like, oh, Michael's into this, let's check it out. So there's no doubt that he has a huge fan base and a huge following, and I think bringing that into NASCAR is really big. I had the opportunity to meet him several years ago. It was probably 10, 12 years ago now, back when he was still the owner of the Hornets in Charlotte. And his right-hand guy, Fred Whitfield, was a super cool guy. He'd always hook us up with, like, courtside seats, in Charlotte. But I had an opportunity to meet him, and just a genuine good guy. I'm sure he's had his moments like we all have in life, but the success that he's had and the things that he's been through, he doesn't have to be that way. And he is. He's just an easy guy to talk to, and I think that reflects in his interviews that you're seeing after the races. It's cool to see him invest so much into a sport that we all love, And I remember talking to him back then. He was dabbling in, I think it was like MotoGP or Superbike
yes.
at the time, and you could tell he had a passion for motorsports. But I never foresaw him, being in owning one of the best, teams in NASCAR, and here he is.
Yeah.
On the sidelines, watching that lawsuit go down, where each team's mother effing each side. On the sidelines, from your perspective, are you just going, oh my gosh, this is really happening? First of all, did you think it was going to go to court? And now that it's landed, where are we now as NASCAR fans?
I never knew what to expect with that. I guess I was probably surprised that it did go as far to go to court, because I think that NASCAR has always had the leverage, and this is probably the first person, first company that had the depth to just see it through or see it out, I think we're in a better place, I hate that it happened. If I could pick for it not to happen, I would have picked for it not to ever happen. But at the end of the day, I think that it opened up conversation. We saw this a little bit with NASCAR when it was always NASCAR drivers and teams. It was never as a whole, right? And I want to say it must have been maybe my 6th, 7th year. NASCAR finally said, "Hey, we're going to start having meetings with the drivers. We're going to start having meetings with the teams where everybody can share their thoughts. We can get on the same page."
So you're talking late 2010s.
Yeah.
Smokes.
Yeah, so that was the first time that we actually got pulled in with NASCAR. We'd have team meetings right before drivers meetings before the races, but it was never an opportunity to raise your hand and ask questions. It was more of a show, right? And when we started doing those meetings, it was pretty enlightening, right? Because there was a lot of times where the drivers would be like, why in the hell do you guys do this? This is doing this, this, this to us. And they go, okay, well, here's our other 3 options. What do you think about those? And you're like, I like the one you picked. You know what I mean? So what it did was there was a moment in time where NASCAR, you felt like NASCAR was against you more than they were with you. And I think opening up that conversation just got everybody on the same page, because you started finding out that 99% of the time they were trying to do the right thing for everybody, but it's very hard to do the right thing for everybody, right? They gotta make a decision and go. But once they started expressing what they were doing, here's the decisions we have ahead of us. What are your guys' opinions? Here's what we think. Once we started having that open dialogue, it really helped the teams, the drivers, and NASCAR kind of get together and start pulling in the same direction to grow the sport.
Right.
And I think that's what this did as well. It was just kind of that next step. It opened up the next book, the next chapter of hey, okay, here's what's going on. It's all out on the table. How do we now improve the sport? How do we make it better? And I think in the end, it's going to be healthy for everything.
Sometimes you have to step backwards in order to move forwards, and this is that example.
100%. Sometimes moving forward isn't easy.
Right.
We opened up a can of worms for Daytona 500 by asking the drivers about a road course that is not in the chase. And to a lot of folks, Brad Kozlowski's answer was not suitable. And it was, I don't know why we have so many road courses. And then the response is, well, because you suck on road courses.
Yeah, right.
You as a driver, we don't have a road course in the chase, which don't you want to be known for being a badass driver on all formats of racing? Where do you stand with the lack of a road course in the chase and road courses in NASCAR in general?
I have a different opinion than Brad. I think that Brad, when he made that comment, he said, I'm going to put my owner's hat on here, right? It wasn't necessarily a driver's hat. He was looking at it from an owner's perspective. And there were some valid points that he had when he made that comment. But as far as a driver goes, I would love to have a road course in the chase. I mean, I think the bigger variety that you can get inside the chase is just how well-rounded of a driver are you, right? We have, when you think about unpredictability and all that stuff, you start thinking about these super speedways. There's so many things that happen out of your control. I think a road course is way more in your control. I mean, obviously you can get booted. Somebody can get in there too deep and you'd be the odd man out. But it's not going to take 15 cars out like Daytona or Talladega could, and those are in the chase. Right? To me, that's like a big roll of the dice, So, I love seeing variety. I've always loved seeing variety, but I came from an IndyCar background where I raced road courses. I've enjoyed them. They're a lot of fun. I do think that maybe they don't hold as many fans. Maybe they don't get it draw as many eyes. But the one thing I can say is every time you go to a road course, the amount of passionate fans that show up are different, right? I mean, they're passionate road course fans. Like you go to Watkins Glen, those people have been going there since the beginning of time, and they're super passionate fans. So I do feel that there's a place for it in our sport, and I would be fine with having a road course in the chase.
Damn it, you brought up something else.
Uh-oh.
Let's go ahead and let's get Dega. All right, now I want you. I'm trying to get you out of here, man.
Yeah, no worries. That's okay.
I want you, he's going to roll some video here, and this is you at Talladega. Tell me what's going on here. Do you remember this?
Where am I at? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we got Joe Nemechek on the outside, third lane. Denny Hamlin, he's about to cut Denny Hamlin off.
Okay.
Right here. He cuts Denny off. Then Joe hits me, and I end up getting upside down here. I think this is the 38 car.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm sliding upside down, and I'm sitting there hoping nobody's going to hit me. And I'm looking at the halo bar and the ceiling, and it's just opening up like this the whole time. Like seeing the asphalt going by, and the halo bar is just getting small like that, the whole time. And then I end up all the way down here. I'm upside down.
Watch this video right here. Watch this.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. It was actually nice and cushy. It wasn't that bad. It kind of floated upside down, landed on the lid. It was like I was just sliding. Yeah, I was trying to talk to the guys on the radio. It actually wasn't too bad. But the odd thing is now I'm upside down and the oil tanks are behind her back, right? Ooh. So the hot oil is running down my back out of the oil tank, and so I'm trying to get out of the seat, get my belts undone, and I couldn't get. What a lot of people don't understand is, if you watch a driver get into a stock car, 9 times out of 10, the top of the car is about right here. It's at your chest, right? You lift your leg up and you kind of get in. Half of your body is above the car. So if you took a piece of plywood and set it on top of the car and then you tried to get in, it's a limbo, thing. So when that thing's upside down and you're trying to get out onto the pavement and you got to get bent in and around the seat, I mean, it's not easy to get out of a stock car upside down. So I went to go get out, and I couldn't get my helmet out the way that it was. So then I took my helmet off, and I started trying to push it out, and the corner worker is pushing my helmet back in. and I got hot oil on me and everything. He goes, no, they told me you can't get out. And he's pushing the helmet back in, and I'm like, dude, listen, like, I'm about to kill this guy. Like, I got hot oil on my back. I want out of this car, you know? And so finally I freaking pushed the thing out. I was like, get the hell out of my way, and I got out of that thing. But I thought, that's when I realized that we needed to step up our safety crews, you know, that needed to understand a little bit more, you know, about what. And at that time, they did briefings and did some things to try to, you know, help them. They've since gotten way better, you know, with making sure there's knowledgeable people out there. But that was that was an odd experience. Here I am, crashed. I feel great. I'm just trying to get out of the car, and he's pushing me back in. Like, what are you doing?
What was the beef at the end there that you and Denny were jawing at each other?
He thought it was my fault. It was weird because what was weird is Joe ran right across his nose. Denny spun him out, but it was Joe's fault. And then Joe tagged me, and then afterwards he goes, man, what the hell are you? He starts yelling at me. I was like, dude, what are you talking about? I was on the white line just minding my own business, and all of a sudden,
you guys came to me.
You guys got so, but and that's it's in the heat of the moment. And those things happen so quick. You guys had it slowed down where you can kind of understand what goes on. But all that stuff happens so quick, and you're like, shoot, did I do something? I don't know. And then you watch the video, and you're like, no, I didn't do anything. It was, you know, it was a different scenario. So I've done that to guys, too. You know, I get pissed off at them, and then you go back and watch the tape, and you're like, ooh, I need to call him and apologize. You know?
Can we show the other video? I got to say, now run this last video. You're going to get to that.
All right.
Now tell me what is what's happening here.
Oh, this is, he was the ball and I was the glove on that deal.
Right. Marcus Ambrose.
Oh, that is Ambrose.
So I said a bunch of things to him that I would have decked me for.
Okay, but real quick, watch him. Someone comes up and punches him. Right?
No way.
There.
Oh, did somebody kind of tag him?
Yeah, someone punched him. Who the hell was that?
I don't know. I feel a little better about it now, though. No, you know, what happened was Marcus is a hell of a guy. I mean, when I say a good guy, he's a great guy. And I never had an issue with him, you know, ever. You know, I think between the two of us in the garage, I think we had the most friends probably in the garage, you know. And come to find out, that was his. He knew that he was probably going to lose his ride at that point, right? And I didn't know that. Hard. He was desperate for a good finish, and 3 times in a row on the restarts, he drove in behind me all the way on the apron, came up and body slammed me and knocked my left side off the car, and then kind of went on, or I passed him back, right? And just making really desperate moves, just kind of, you know, understanding his headspace now. I kind of understand why. But it just happened to be in the 13 car. We didn't have many good weekends, right? They were rare. And I had a really good car that weekend. And it was like the time for me to capitalize on something, too, that we don't typically have the opportunity to capitalize on. And this guy kept running me over and screwing up my car. And we have to come back in and fix it. You know, it happened 3 times the same way. And so I was pissed off about some other things and the results of where we ended up because of the way the race went down. And Marcus just happened to be walking by. And I grabbed him.
Wrong place, wrong time.
I grabbed him. I said everything on my mind that I should, you know, I would have hit me so hard based on everything that I said, but I didn't want to hit him because I didn't know about fines or penalties for the team, and I didn't want to be that guy. So all I thought to do was just grab a hold of him and freaking tell him exactly what I was thinking, and he hit me, and then I went after him because I wanted to get a shot in, but then his guys got in the way, and I never kind of got my opportunity to. You know, fortunately we were able to have a conversation. We were both kind of like, why'd that happen? That was stupid, you know? And, but you know, it's the passion of the sport. I mean, you really are. People don't realize that your lives are hanging on these things. You got a gun to your throat, you know, a knife to your throat, a gun to your head. I mean, you're trying to make the sponsors happy. You at the same time want to have success for yourself. You want to have a good run for your family. You want to go back home at the end of the night and actually be in a good mood, not pissed off because you had a rough day, you know? So they're just, all those emotions just kind of come out at once, and he walked by at the wrong time, and I said all the wrong things at the right time, and he got a pretty good shot in on me. You know,
has your son seen that video?
I think he probably has. Gosh, with YouTube and all the stuff on social media and all that stuff, I'm sure he's seen it at some point. Yeah, for sure.
But the fights in baseball, speaking of your son, nothing like motorsports fights.
That's right. Yeah, they take their helmets off.
True.
Yeah,
brother, thanks for doing this.
Yes.
Absolutely, man. Really good to see you guys. I know we've known each other for a lot of years, and great to come here and come spend a little time with you guys. And we're in the same town, so we'll do it again sometime.